Hello and welcome back to Jenna Gets Creative. I can't believe it's already February, can you? We're already in the second month of 2020. What happened? So for those of you who don't know, Jake Parker and the team behind Inktober have started something new this year. Every week of the year has its own prompt, emailed out to everyone on the official Inktober email list and announced on Instagram. It's called Inktober 52, since there are 52 weeks in the year, and everyone is sharing their work using the hashtag Inktober 52. The prompt for week 5 was announced on January 30th, and it's balloon. I immediately thought of this piece I did for Pentalic 365 around this time last year, with a ballet dancer being carried off by a floating red umbrella. When I originally did this piece, I masked off the dancer and umbrella using washi tape that I laid down and then trimmed with a craft knife so that I could work on the background without worrying about avoiding the main subject area. Unfortunately, some of the overlap spaces weren't very adhesive anymore by the time I was done cutting away the excess tape, and I ended up with random blue patches where I didn't want them. I was able to cover up everything except for the blue spot on her lower foot, which has always bothered me, so I'm taking this prompt as an opportunity for a do-over. Today I'll be redoing this concept, but with a couple changes. First of all, in order to satisfy the new prompt of balloon instead of last year's Pentalic 365 month theme of umbrella, the dancer will now be carried off by a bundle of party balloons. Second, instead of using a complicated mixture of watercolor inks and Inktense pencils, this time I'm going to only use my Winsor Newton Watercolour markers. You'll notice I'm mostly painting liquid color onto the paper with a brush, and that's because I'm scribbling the markers into some ceramic ramekins that I use for making washes. They're just cheap little dollar store ramekins, possibly porcelain, possibly ceramic, not entirely sure which, just, the little white dishes creme brulee is served in. They work great. Third change, this time I'll be embracing a small amount of messiness and letting this piece be more illustrative. Last time I was going for realism and I wanted the painting to look as good as possible, and the result was a realistic dancer who looked not quite finished being carried off by a cartoony umbrella that was way more saturated than anything else. This time I'll try to balance saturation and completeness level everywhere, and in order to embrace the illustrative feel, I'll be lining it all after I'm done painting. I find it so interesting how different the two pieces turned out, even though I used the exact same concept sketch to produce both. In fact, I still had the tracing I used to transfer the sketch to my watercolor paper the first time around, so the initial pencil lines you saw at the beginning on this new piece came from literally the same tracing as the painting I did last year. Let me know which of the two you prefer in the comments down below, and also tell me when you see it if you think the new painting's dancer reminds you of someone. She definitely reminds me of someone here on YouTube, and it wasn't intentional at all. I'll tell you whose face I'm seeing closer to the end. By the way, if you're new here, I'd love it if you would subscribe and turn on notifications. I upload twice a week at minimum, every Tuesday and Thursday, with bonus uploads some weeks. I've managed to secure some collaborations for every Friday this month, including the regularly scheduled Art Addicts Alliance upload, so this month you'll be getting at least 3 videos a week all month. I really love doing collaborations, and I'd like to do a lot more this year, so feel free to get in contact with me in the comments or on social media if you'd like to collab. If you like this video, don't forget to hit like and leave a comment down below. I love reading your comments, I appreciate the interaction on my videos, and I do reply to everyone. Are you trying to follow the Inktober 52 prompts this year? Let me know how it's going for you in the comments down below. Also, in case you didn't know yet, I'm going to be hosting an international giveaway. It'll open once I qualify for the YouTube Partner Program, and all of my channel subscribers age 14 plus will be eligible, as long as you're in a country that I can ship to from Canada. You'll notice I'm roughly 3/4 of the way to the subscriber count threshold for the YouTube Partner Program now, which is 1,000 by the way, but keep in mind I also need to have at least 4,000 watch hours total over the most recent 12 months when I apply, so If you'd like to see that giveaway happen sooner, make sure you're subscribed and make sure you're watching my videos all the way through so your watch time gives my channel the boost it needs to get the rest of the way there. If you want to put me in another tab or whatever so you can multitask, that's cool. I appreciate the watch time no matter whether you're just watching, just listening, or both. The giveaway prize will include some art supplies and a small custom artwork. As I get new art supplies, particularly from subscription boxes where I may get duplicates of things, I have been setting aside items that are both brand new unopened, as well as items that were tested once but are still pretty much brand new, and those are the items I'll be including in the giveaway. At this point, that does include items from Faber-Castell, Derwent, and Marabou. That's all I'm going to say for now. More details to come when we're closer to opening the giveaway. But let's get back on topic. I can't remember if I've ever said this, and if I have, it was probably long enough ago that most of you watching didn't see the video I said it in, but I don't own many of these Winsor Newton watercolor markers at all. I received one in the color Pale Rose from a sketch box back in 2018, and I loved it. But I didn't want to throw too much money at this particular supply without knowing if I would like them all as much as I liked that one, and without knowing how often I would use them or how long they would last. So my solution was to go buy a good set of primaries and commit to mixing the colors I need when I use them. So I have two other convenience colors, and the rest are just primaries. My other two convenience colors, which are pre-mixed non-primaries, are Yellow Ochre and Payne's Gray. For the yellows, I own Cadmium Yellow Hue as my warm tone and Lemon Yellow Hue as my cool tone. For reds, I have Cadmium Red Hue for the Red, Yellow, Blue primary set, and Permanent Rose for the CMYK set. If you're keeping track, that's 7 so far, so you know I have 5 markers left to list. I only said primaries, so how on earth are there still 5 markers? Well, 1 is black, and the remaining 4 are all blues. When I first bought my primaries, a cerulean blue hue for the CMYK colors was sold out, so I bought turquoise, hoping it was close enough. It isn't. It is what I used for the sky in the original version of this painting, though, and yes, I did eventually get that cerulean. The other 2 are my warm and cool tone blues for the Red, Yellow, Blue primaries, a phthalo blue in red and green shades. Can I mix these colors to get any color I want or need? Yep. In fact, I have more markers than I need. Payne's Gray can be mixed with black and a cool blue. Turquoise wasn't necessary. Yellow Ochre is here for skin tone and browns mixing convenience. Pale Rose is the one that came in Sketchbox. If I were to start again from scratch with these markers, I only would have bought 8. The primary reds and yellows I listed, plus cerulean blue, the 2 phthalo blues, and black. About half of these have light fastness ratings right on the barrels and half don't. I'm not entirely sure if that's just an old and new packaging issue, or if that means the ones without a light fastness rating listed are worse than ASTM 1 and ASTM 2, so they didn't bother. ASTM 1 corresponds to Blue Wool Scale 7 and 8 out of 8, which are light fast up to and above 100 years under museum conditions, and ASTM 2 corresponds to Blue Wool 6, which means light fast up to 50 years. They are pigment-based rather than dye-based, which means they are more likely to be fade-resistant in general. I've used them on their own as well as together with traditional watercolors, with watercolor inks, and even with alcohol markers. If you're curious about how these play with alcohol markers, check out my Colors of the Month video from August 2019, where I drew Boy George with watercolor and alcohol markers in that month's 3 very vibrant colors. Let me know if you want to see more pieces done in the Winsor Newton watercolor markers, or if you'd like a proper product review video done on them. What I'm most proud of in this piece is how successful I was making the balloons look transparent, so you can see the overlapping balloons through each other. I also really love the fact that in this version, the dancer looks like she absolutely meant to take off flying with these balloons. In the previous version, she looks like she was taken by surprise, which was the intent, but now that I see this rather satisfied girl in control of the situation, I think I like this expression better. What about you? And remember how I said she reminds me of another YouTuber? Quick, if you haven't already, pause and tell me in the comments down below who you think she looks like before I say who I see. I'll wait. Ready? You sure? Okay. I think she looks like Alice of Hello Alice. I didn't set out to draw Alice, but I think that's what I've done.